Hi, so my name's Naz. I'm head of e-commerce for a company called Safeco. Safeco is a UK-based grocery delivery service. I'm in charge of all the software and technology implementation. I would rate Talk 3 out of 5. So we are a startup organization that was set up in 2019, just before COVID. So previous to my role with the company, it was purely a bricks and mortar shop. People would come in, both tradespeople and members of the public, to buy grocery products. When we set up the online store, almost overnight, we started getting email inquiries, Facebook Messenger inquiries, WhatsApp inquiries. We needed a way to centralize the attention of all queries, both existing customer and sales inquiries, into a central tool, and we chose Talk, mainly because, being a startup at the time, budgets were tight and it's a free product. So Talk is free of charge. You do not need to pay for the service. So the main reason we chose Talk was consolidation of the customer service experience and the fact that it's free. So by integration into the platform, specifically what I mean is, for instance, if there was an existing customer, the algorithms and the cookies would recognize the customer via the Shopify platform and give you the name of the customer and all the orders the customer had placed. So you could be quite quickly well into the customer's record, and understand what particular issue the customer was having, without having to ask loads of opening questions to try and find out and identify who the customer is. So one of the main benefits of this was integration into the recording and logging of all customer information. So each time a customer calls, whether they have a sales inquiry, whether they actually place an order, we would like that information recorded into the CRM, in this case, Shopify. And with Talk being fully integrated, in other words, Talk sits as an app on the Shopify App Store, if you like. This made the job of that relationship management very, very easy. So the issues that we had initially, the sort of teething problems, were getting it integrated correctly, setting up the APIs, setting up the connection software, speaking just so that it would recognize customer information correctly, the IP address, the location, etc. One of the other things that we had to do was, which was not difficult, but it was an initial sort of learning curve, was to integrate the look and feel of the widget. So Talk obviously gives you a widget on the front end, to have it to match the color scheme, have the logo there, having a succinct and quite apt message to start with. A lot of the default messages don't apply, so you'd have to kind of bespoke the initial introduction, if you like, to the business, the welcome message. Aside from the welcome message, what we decided very early on was to use automation where possible. So what we have was auto answers. So for instance, if somebody asked the question, or rather if they clicked on the button that says, "Where do you deliver?" it would automatically list the postcodes, and the areas, for that matter, that we do not deliver to, so the customers weren't wasting their time placing orders when they realized we weren't going to be delivering. The other thing we did quite well was we had one, I can't remember what they're called, but they're almost where you type a phrase, so a single phrase answer. So for example, if my answer to a regularly asked, frequently asked question of what's the update with my order, if my answer is your order's not yet been dispatched, as soon as it's ready, it will be sent. An email will be sent to you informing you of the estimated time of arrival of your delivery. If that was a single sentence that I had to reply time and time again, I could type the single phrase delivery, for example, and it would automatically type out the entire reply to frequently asked questions. That was very important, and that was something that took a while to set up correctly. Not necessarily because of technical difficulties, but mostly because we were trialing and error, sort of playing around with a bit of a trial and error of what is the correct phrase to say to a customer who asks a certain question. So we had to kind of give it 2 or 3 months to get a bank of regularly asked questions to ascertain what are our customers regularly trying to find out. We shortlisted that to about 4 or 5, and then we put them through the automation. And in the end, it did work quite well. So I think one of the easiest decisions to make on software that is not charging you is that with sort of peace of mind of knowing that you're not going to be paying any money in the foreseeable future, you can actually experiment with the software quite well. So the first piece of advice is obviously try to go for software that's free. The second piece of advice I'd always give somebody is get the technical support. Tawk don't offer phone support like many online companies, software companies. So they offer technical help through a knowledge base. So you have to search the knowledge base, or you can actually go through live chat. 90% of the time we went through live chat, and that was actually quite helpful. So always make sure that there is live support available to answer your questions. Obviously keep the cost down to a minimum. Ideally go for something that's free. And I think the third piece of advice would be make sure you read documentation about integration. If integration is important to you, which it probably will be for most people, if you want the software that you're using to integrate into your e-commerce platform, make sure you read the documentation very, very well.